We got something pretty interesting here for you here today. We're going to be working on my 1998 KTM 620 RXC, and it needs a new clutch cable. The process here should be pretty similar for any dirt bike, ATV, or dual sport motorcycle. First thing we're going to do here is remove the trim piece that goes over the clutch cable and compression release perches. This is done by undoing the strap that holds it on and carefully sliding the whole thing off. With that off, we can see the failure point. Next, we'll begin the process of removing the old cable. This bike has a free play adjuster that isn't part of the cable, so we'll pull this out and slide it off of the broken cable. Then we can carefully fish the cable between the forks and frame. Make a note of how it goes, because we're going to want to install the new one in the same way. On my bike, the fuel tank must be removed to complete this job, so we'll have to remove the seat as well. For me, it's held on with just one bolt. This gives access to the 4 bolts holding the side plastics on. Remove all the bolts and the piece will come off. Of course, we'll do this for both sides. Then we'll have access to the last 2 bolts securing the tank. I removed both of these, and last but not least, I turned off the fuel, disconnected the fuel line, and the tank was ready to come off. A zip tie held the cable to the frame, so I cut the old zip tie off. Inspection revealed that the ball end of the cable had already come undone from the actual clutch actuator, so all I had to do was pull it out of the holder, which in my case is just a press fit into part of the engine case. Some bikes may use a screw or lock nut here instead of a press fit, so be careful and make sure nothing is still holding the cable before you yank too hard. With the old cable out, I matched it up to the new one. Obviously, the ends need to be the same, but we also want to make sure that they're the same length. Assuming that they are, we can begin installing the new cable. On my bike, this means sliding the cable in through the slot and pressing the cable back into place. The dust boot is slid back on and the ball end of the cable is engaged with the actuator lever. Next, I fish the cable back between the frame and forks, again trying my best to follow the same routing as the original cable. With the cable in place, I reinstalled the free play adjuster. Each model is different, but mine was just a matter of removing the boot, aligning the slots to allow the cable to be installed, and sliding each part onto the cable. I then inserted the cable end into the clutch lever and worked everything back into place. I adjusted the free play to factory specs. Finally, I reattached the cable to the frame with a new zip tie. At this point, the new cable was installed. I just put the bike back together following the reverse steps of disassembly. The tank, fuel line, bolts, side plastics, and seat were all installed. And at this point, we were done. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you found it helpful, and consider subscribing if you aren't already subscribed. We'll see you guys soon.